Hello class. Today we're doing Blue Practice 1.5. Okay? I'm doing even numbers with you. So here we have 32 centimeters and we want to convert to inches. We have our centimeters. We want inches. So when we set up our conversion, we have inches to centimeters. Okay? So because we don't know our inches, so we have how many inches to 32 centimeters, okay? So when we set this up, what we want to look for is 1 centimeter, okay? We want this to convert to 1 centimeter, okay? And then therefore, we would need to know how many inches is 1 centimeter. So let's look at our conversion chart. Here's our conversion chart. We look for 1 centimeters and we find that it is 0.39 inches as an equivalent. So this becomes 0.39. So our inch to centimeter, our inch to centimeters. So because we don't know what the inch amount is, what we're going to do is isolate x, and we isolate x by taking the 32 out of the denominator, and we multiply both sides by 32, multiply both sides by 32, take our calculator, and we say 32 times 0.39, and our answer is 12.48. Okay, so therefore our x is equal to 12.48, or in our case, it could be 12.5. All right, let's take a look at our next problem, okay? Our next problem, all right. On number 4, we have 50 miles. We want to convert to kilometers. They both have hours, but we want to convert our miles to kilometers. So we don't know our kilometers, that's our x, and we do know our miles, that's our 50, okay? So because we do know our miles, we want to go from miles to kilometers. So our miles to miles, we want to go from miles, if 1 mile equals how many kilometers. So let's get our conversion chart. We look at our miles and we realize 1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometers. So that's our conversion, 1.6. Therefore, we get our calculator and we isolate our x by multiplying both sides by 50, so that 1.6 times 50 give us an 80. So x is equal to 80, okay? All right. Okay, let's move on to number 6. On number 6, we have 1,000 minutes to seconds, okay? So now, here, we want the kilometers to a minute, okay? So here we have 1,000 meters per second. And then we want this to be kilometers per minute, all right? So now, how many seconds are in a minute? Well, we know that there are 60 seconds in a minute. So once we convert this meter to a kilometer, we're going to have to break it down by 60 to get it down to 1 second. Okay? So let's see how that's going to work. So we do not know our kilometer, but we do know our meter. Okay? So therefore, we need to look for our meter to kilometer, because we know our meter, we don't know our kilometer. So we go from meter to kilometer. So let's take a look. In this case, in our conversion chart, and we go from 1 meter 1 meter to a kilometer. Okay, well, they didn't show it to us, so I'll have to show you from last year's lesson. King Cole does love drinking chocolate milk. So King Hector does love drinking chocolate milk. All right, so if we're here with liters, meters, and grams, and we go to kilometers, we go this way. 1, 2, 3. So we go this way. 1, 2, 3. So that's 1. All right, so therefore, our meter would be equal to 1. So x is equal to 1. All right, and so therefore, if it is 1 kilometer, in this case per second, because this is per second, then we need to make it a minute. So if it's 1 per second, if it was kilometers, then if we made it per minute, how many seconds make up a minute? It would be 60 times 60, and therefore our answer here is 60. Okay? All right, so this is what it is per second. When we convert it from meters to kilometers, we did it based on a second. Okay? Once we did it based on a second, then we had to convert it from a second to a minute, which is by 60. So we multiplied that 1, okay, kilometer by 60 to get that amount. Okay? All right. So let's take a look at number 8. Now, on number 8, we are converting feet to yards. Feet to yards. Now this one's a little tricky, okay? Because you need 3 feet to 1 yard, okay? Now, the issue with this though is that this is squared, okay? So therefore you actually have 9, this is squared, to 1. That's what you're actually working with. 9 feet to 1 yard. Okay? If that be the case, then we don't know our yard. We do know our feet. So our yard is x and our feet is 50. And remember, it's squared. Now from there, if that be the case, then this is our feet. Okay, so this is 9 here, feet to feet. And this is our yard, 1. Okay, so now when we multiply both sides by 50, okay, then we actually get 50 over 9. And that answer is 50 divided by 9 is equal to 5.555, so we just say 5.56. So we get 5.56. Okay? All right. So be careful here. This is cubed when you do this one. So when you go from meters to centimeters, you have to use your King Hector does love chocolate milk. So from meters to centimeters, you go 1, 2. So this would be decimal point. Here you go 1, 2. All right. And because it is cubed, you're going to want to cube this and then go through the process. Okay? If you have difficulty with it, we'll discuss it tomorrow morning. Okay? Let's look at number 10. Your doctor prescribes you to take 400 milligrams of medicine every 8 hours. So we have 400 milligrams, okay, every 8 hours. How many doses of medicines do you take in 1 day? So now what happens is 8 hours turn into 24 hours, okay? All right, so now what ends up happening is, if that be the case, then you are talking about these milligrams to 24. All right, so then from 8 hours to 24 hours, you can mental math, you just times 3. So you do this times 3. So you got 1,200 milligrams, okay? But here's the issue. It says your doctor prescribes you 400 milligrams of medicine every 8 hours. How many ounces of medicine do you take a day? So now that you know your day amount in milligrams, so now you're converting 1,200 milligrams to ounces. That's ultimately what you're doing, okay? You don't know your ounces for 1,200 milligrams, all right? So then you want to go from ounce to milligrams. All right, so let's take a look at that. You want to go from milligrams to ounces because you know what your milligrams are, so you want to break this down to 1, okay? So 1 milligram is equivalent to how many ounces? So let's take a look. For milligrams, 1 gram, okay? But that's not milligram. See if we can get a milligram. Milliliter, gram, a kilogram. 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams. All right, so we got some conversion to work with here. All right, so if that be the case, we know that 1 gram equals 35,000 ounces. So we got some conversion to do, okay? So we have 1 gram equals 0.035 ounces. Okay, now the problem is this is milligrams and not grams. So now we can convert this to milligrams and then use this conversion to get our ounces, okay? Or we can convert this to milligrams and convert this in, so that's too complicated. So let's just break this down to milligrams, okay? So then 1 milligram is equivalent to how many grams? All right, so let's see if our conversion chart told us. It told us that 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. Okay, so if we know that this is our 1 gram, our 1 gram is equivalent to 1,000 milligrams, then basically, once again, we go from here, from milligrams, and we move 1, 2, 3 places. That's all we need to do with metrics. Well, I love conversion and metrics. Just move the decimal point. 1, 2, 3. So that's 1.2. All right. So then our 1,200 milligrams is equal to 1.2 grams. Now we can use this conversion to find our ounces, okay? So now, if we don't know our ounces, so our ounces, okay, to our 1.2 gram, okay? All right, now over here, we take our gram down to 1. It would make it 0.035 ounces, all right? So now let's take this and multiply it by this to find out what it is we're working with. Okay, so let's take our calculator, and we have 1.2 times 0.035, and it's equal to 0.42. Okay, so we are having 0.042 milligrams